What's going on, people? Phonicz. Right to truth.
Yeah. Cool-headed, but I'm too deadly. All the way up to the top where I'm going, nigga, where you headed? King shit over rude peasants. Don't lose your bitch for 2 seconds. All I gotta do is talk to her for a few seconds, and she'll be trying to give me smooth Beckett. Gooseneck, man, marijuana, get the move ready. Crew reppin' since 9th grade, high school freshman. Young nigga, I was too restless. You guessed it, no cap, it's a new era. Midnight with my last bitch and my last bitch. That's 2 X's, dos X's, 2 N's. I was gone for a few seconds and came home.
Yo, what up, y'all? What up? Welcome to Right to Truth, yo, with Phonicz. Here for a hot second. So we can talk about the aftermath, man. Yo, big shout out to everybody who pulled up on me Saturday night and was listening to the play-by-play, man. It was epic. Thank you for everybody who came in, liked, who showed your support, man. I appreciate that. And we got more of those coming in the future. And I just wanted to talk about the fights that happened this weekend, the championship fights and the implications moving forward. So we're gonna jump right into it. We see you got the champ on the screen. Terrence Bud Crawford, 38-0, 29 KOs. He fought and knocked out David Avanesyan last Saturday night, stopped him in the 6th round. In his hometown of Omaha, Nebraska, Bud Crawford's hometown. Yeah, man. He caught him with a left hand, man, then a right hook, knocked him straight out. And I'm gonna get to an article, man, I was reading, man, by Adam Baskin, man, of Boxing News 24, and he was talking about the fight, man, and what he said was, and I'm gonna quote him. Although Avanesyan is ranked in the top 10, he is not considered one of the better welterweights in the division. And it's unclear why Black Prime head honchos are willing to pay Crawford $10 million plus for this level of opponent, instead of insisting he defends against Jaron Boots Ennis or Virgil Ortiz Jr. I agree with that. Everybody's looking for that bag, man. The 35-year-old Crawford looked good, but not like he'd been during the best years of his career. Avanesyan was putting hands on Crawford during the contest, showing that age is starting to creep in for the Nebraska native. I said that during the fight. It's like Bud, he wasn't being real aggressive. He was kind of playing with him. He was pity-patting. Yeah, it paid off later, but Avanesyan was the more aggressive fighter, and I thought that we was going to see that from Bud, at least in the 3rd or 4th round, and we didn't see any of that until the last round when he knocked him out. After the fight, Crawford refused to call out IBF, WBA, and WBC welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr., but he did express his interest in facing him or undisputed junior middleweight champion Jermell Charlo. You don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke, champ. You don't want that smoke with Jermell. Given the way Crawford is playing hardball with him, acting as his own promoter, it is unlikely he will be able to negotiate a fight with Spencer Charlo. And he wants to return to the ring in April or May. We want to fight again. Somebody give us somebody else at Crawford's trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, after the fight. I kept saying that I wanted to fight this year. I didn't want to be out of the ring for over a year. I'm trying to get back to fighting on a constant basis, said Crawford. Whatever, Crawford. Don't nobody believe that. Because if that was the truth, you would fight more often. Quote, hopefully April or May, somewhere around that time, said Crawford, when asked when he wants to fight again. We got to wait and see. We can't overstep our boundaries. We don't know what is next. I got to go to the drawing board and my phone stay on. I'm ready for whoever. No, you're not. I feel like I can peak at 154. I feel like I can be strong at 154 as well as 147, said Crawford when asked if he'll move up to junior middleweight if he can get the fight against IBF, WBA, and WBC welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. next. A lot of people say I'm small for 147, but I feel like with my strength, my skills, my mindset, I can go up in weight and hang with the best of them, said Crawford. He can make 147 pretty easy. He makes it look easy, said Crawford's trainer. That's what he's supposed to say. I figure the man can do whatever he wants to do at 147 or 154. He's proven to the world that he's the pound for pound best. If he chooses to go up to 154 and come back down to 147, so let it be. That's what he wants to do. Me personally, I don't think anybody at 154 or 147 can beat him. It's as simple as that. The only question is who's going to be willing to fight him. You don't see nobody calling out Bud at 54-47. They're probably going to try to stall him out, said Bo Mack. I might go down to 135 and fight, Shakur Stevenson said Crawford jokingly. Crawford refuses to call out Spence. I don't got to give no message to nobody, said Crawford when asked if he has a message to Errol Spence. Everybody has seen what I've done in the welterweight division. Everybody sees who I've been calling out. I hadn't heard that he was in another accident, said Crawford about Spence. I hope he's all right. We're all fighting for that number one spot. It's not personal, it's just business. Everybody knows that what Terrence Crawford brings to the table. So there's not too much that I need to do. I've had a lot of spectacular knockouts early in my career, but this is top 5, said Crawford, in rating his knockout of number 6 WBO ranked Avanesyan. No, it wasn't. But okay, we'll go with that. Yeah, it's definitely sad to report that Errol Spence Jr. was in an accident, man. He got hit by a kid who was an unlicensed driver, man, and he said his leg was bothering him. He was complaining of a leg injury. He said, in quote, "The motherfucker hit me, fucked my leg up. It's crazy," Spence stated. He ran right into me. They don't know the severity of his leg injury, and I'm sure we'll find out much more later on. So, yeah. And Crawford also believes that the fight, if he fights Terrence Errol Spence Jr., he believes that they can fill a 60,000 seat stadium somewhere, either in the United Kingdom or Saudi Arabia. He believed that Brits support boxing more in their country than the USA, where the sport is number 4, behind football, basketball, and baseball. Even if Crawford were right about the British fans being more interested in boxing than the U.S., it's questionable whether 2 non-Brits like him and Spence could fill a 60,000 seat stadium and sell pay-per-view buys, even though the fight would be worlds better than the horrible ones Tyson Fury has had recently in the UK against Derek Chisora and Dylan White. Both pretty much journeyman level fighters at best. I don't know about that. I don't think that they would make a good fight overseas. I mean, they're not from there. They're not locals. You'd have to have at least one local from there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see that. Maybe Saudi Arabia, though. Maybe Saudi Arabia. And I mean, Crawford just got the bag 10 million. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he's really hurting, which he ain't been hurting anyway. But he's good right now. So now, I called that fight, and I also called this type fight. Teofimo Lopez and Sandor Martin squared off in my hometown in Madison Square Garden. It was a whack fight. It was a whack fight. Lopez did not put on the show. I do believe Sandor Martin was running from him. I do believe that has something to do with it. But he should have figured out a way to get that guy out of there. Like, that was just shameful. And hey, I got a few articles on that. We're gonna talk about this real quick by Vince D. Ryder. As the headliner for the top-ranked December 10th card in Madison Square Garden, the WBO number 1 ranked junior welterweight contender Teofimo the Takeover Lopez escaped with a narrow split decision victory over Sandor Martin. Back in October 2020, Lopez looked razor sharp as he unified the WBO, WBA, and IBF lightweight titles when he collected a unanimous decision victory over Vasily Lomachenko. After beating Lomachenko, it seemed like the sky would be the limit for Lopez. But 2 years later, it appears as though the 140-pound weight class could be the Takeover's restricted area. Lopez suffered a shocking split decision loss to George Kambosos Jr. 11 months after the triumphant victory over Lomachenko. He would go on to take time off away from the ring due to health issues. Lopez revealed his difficulty of making 135, and in August 2022, he made his debut at 140 by earning a 7th-round TKO victory over Pedro Campa. Lopez's debut at 140 was a success, and after only one fight in the division, the WA rewarded the Takeover with a generous ranking. Lopez will enter his class with Sandor Martin as the WBO's number 1 ranked junior welterweight contender. Yo, but he looks sloppy out there. He just doesn't look the same. Teofimo Lopez does not look the same. I don't care what you from October from 2020 to now. He does in his last 3 fights, last 2 he won. He does not look the same. I don't know if Kambosos Jr. got his number or not, but it seems like after that fight, he has not been the same, man. You know, and the articles talk about that. Like I said, truth be told, Lopez was very fortunate to leave Madison Square Garden with a split decision victory. He threw one shot at a time as opposed to combinations. He didn't apply the instructions he was receiving from his corner. And as a result, he produced a subpar performance. That's what he did. It was a subpar performance. It was pathetic, Teofimo. It was pathetic, man. And Kambosos said, you know, as the fight was going on, that nobody's buying his delusional excuses. After Teofimo lost to Kambosos last year, he blamed his defeat on an esophagus issue, as well as him being drained from making a 135-pound limit. I remember that. He did have excuses. I remember that. Some boxing fans bought the excuse until after seeing Teo look just as poor in his last 2 fights since moving up to 140 against Pedro Campa and Sandor Martin. Exactly. And this is what he said Saturday, quote, "You guys got to give me a better dance partner. This guy was running," said Teofimo on the ESPN after the fight, blaming Sandor for why he didn't impress. "You was dancing and running." He was dancing and running. I have to give Teofimo, but still, you have to, you're bro. You got to cover things. You got to lock it down. Like there's just no excuse for that. There's no excuse at all. Period. Thus far, Top Rank is still sticking by Teofimo's side and not ready to jettison the New Yorker. But there's a very real chance they'll need to dump Teo soon after he's taken apart by 140-pound champions Josh Taylor or Regis Prograis. Top Rank wants to put Teofimo in with WBO lightweight champion Taylor or former WBC WBO champ Jose Ramirez next. None of that's a good idea. He doesn't need to fight Taylor or Ramirez. It's going to be a loss for Teo. Teo's going to get hurt. They'll likely keep Teofimo for a bit longer after he loses to one of those guys. But once he gets beaten again, Top Rank will realize they've got an albatross on their hands and give him the bum's rush to get rid of him. Even commentator Tim Bradley feels that Teofimo is still dealing with the trauma from his loss to Kambosos. In other words, Teofimo is still haunted by that loss and hasn't mentally come to terms with what happened to him that night. Yo, I believe that. I really do believe that. And then Teofimo had the nerve to say days before the fight that the fans would be surprised about his improvement and how he was fighting. I mean, I just don't get it, man. Like, yo, bro, I see one more fight and you look like that, I'm done, man. I'm not watching any of it. Period. Yo, here's another article, right? And it says Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson agreed to move Lomachenko to the side. Undisputed lightweight champion Devin Haney's father, manager, trainer Bill Haney and Shakur Stevenson have agreed to move number 1 ranked WBC Vasily Lomachenko out the way so that a fight can be made. Bill made it clear that Haney doesn't have a mandatory due and he can fight anyone he wants next, and they want the best. What's unclear is if Top Rank boss Bob Arum, which has Haney signed with them for one more fight, will agree to let them fight Shakur Stevenson next instead of Lomachenko. That's a fight that Arum has talked about wanting to make for some time. If all of a sudden Shakur jumps the line to challenge Haney for his 4 belts, what happens to Lomachenko? He almost lost his fight against Jermaine Ortiz, and he might get beaten by someone if he has to wait for the smoke to clear for a Haney versus Stevenson fight. And yo, that's what I'm saying, man. Bob Arum's an asshole like that. Now he know the fans is gonna come out crazy if Haney and Stevenson fight. But watch what I tell you, Arum's the kind of asshole. Nah, he gonna give it to he gonna have Haney and Lomachenko. He ain't gonna give it to Shakur Stevenson. And see, Stevenson gonna be pissed. And you already see what Stevenson did with his last fight when he didn't make weight. He was sending a message. Whether he didn't come off and he didn't want to say he was sending a message, he was sending a message. That's just the bottom line. And I don't blame him for that. Period. Speaking with H Money, Bill Haney agreed that Stevenson, 19-0, 9 KOs, was the baddest mother on the planet at 135. Aside from Haney, and they want to fight the best. Since the 34-year-old Lomachenko, 17-2, 11 KOs, doesn't meet that criteria, he needs to move to the side so that Haney, 29-0, 15 KOs, can fight Stevenson. This is Bill Haney. You the baddest MF at 135 outside of Devin, right? Shakur Stevenson. No, I'm the baddest MF at 135 in general. Bill, we're right here. If you want to jump the line in front of Lomachenko, because as you said, you're the baddest MFer. We got all the belts. We got all the belts. He, Devin Haney, has a crown. He is a king. You the baddest MFer, but he's a king. So if the baddest MFer say Lomachenko, move out the way, so how do you think we're going to stop you from moving up the line? Shakur, let's do that. If that's the case, let's do it. Bill, absolutely. Shakur, I didn't know it worked that way. I just thought that was a mandatory for the fight with Pitbull. If you're telling me right now that you can move Lomachenko out the way and you can fight me, we can do that. Bill, I'm telling you that Lomachenko isn't a mandatory. It wasn't no mandatory. Shakur, but y'all built up a fight with Lomachenko. We can choose you. Bill, all you got to do is go to top rank, move him out the way, and you in front. That's it. Shakur, me and you can go together. That would be on y'all to set it up, and we could do it that way. Bill, I've already told him that it's the best fighter that they had. That it's the best fighter that they have. Devin has never said that it's not you. It's not Lomachenko. It's the best fighter that has all the belts. It's the best fighter, and you are the best fighter. So you are able to go to the front of the line. You are able to do all of that. That's why I told the people, Shakur. So that's what it is. We ain't got nothing else to talk about. I can go to my manager, James Prince, and say that out of your mouth that we can move Lomachenko out the way and you can fight me. I didn't know that. I kept hearing Lomachenko and Devin. I thought that was a narrative. I didn't even know that I could just skip the line. Devin has got the belt, so y'all have the power to choose between that. We didn't just have the power. This is Bill. We didn't just have the power. We went and got it in the ring with Lomachenko. He didn't come looking for us. When we got in the ring, he said that Devin was a heavyweight. Wow. But see, the thing is, that's cool. It's still going to be the choice of Bob Arum, and he's not going to let that fly, man. He's not going to let that fly. Although I would like to see that, he is not going to let that fly. And that's just the whole fact, man. I would love to see that. Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, for all the belts. Now, while I got you here, let's talk about a few mandatories. And Shakur Stevenson he does have a mandatory fight, so he'd have to get that out the way anyway. But the first mandatory fight is Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman. That's for Spence's welterweight title. Okay. Spence holds the WBC, WBA, and IBF belts at 147 pounds. Okay. Thurman, 30-1, 22 KOs, former champion. He's only boxing 2.5 years though. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. ESPN is saying they give it a 95% chance that fight happens. Because it said when talks between Spence and Crawford collapsed, PBC turned its attention to Thurman. Spence has long vowed to never fight Thurman because he wasn't given a title shot against him years ago. But it appears that this bout will still happen. We don't know with this recent car accident with Spence, man. We don't know how long that's going to have him sidelined. The next number 2 mandatory, ranking from the WBC, Shakur Stevenson versus Isaac Cruz, lightweight eliminator. Okay. So, of course, they mentioned either Haney or Lomachenko, next year. You know what I'm saying? But they're saying this is a 10% chance that this fight is going to happen because it says PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, is looking to build Cruz into a Mexican star. And the style matchup with Stevenson, a slick boxer, will undoubtedly make the pressure fighter look bad. Besides, this isn't for a title, but a title shot. And exactly, top-ranking PBC rarely do business together, except for big-time fights. And see, that's the problem too. Top-ranked PBC, Golden Boy. You got all these damn different promotion companies, and they don't want to come together and do what's right for the fans, man. Stephen Fulton versus Brandon Figueroa for the featherweight interim title. Ray Vargas moved up a weight division. He vacated the belt. Fools at number 1 junior bantamweight. And he already has a majority decision against Figueroa in the unification fight in 2021. So they say it's a 90% chance that it'll happen. And yeah, it will be a good rematch. And I'll definitely be looking for that because I want to see that. I like Stephen Fulton. He's a good fighter. I like Brandon Figueroa as well. Okay, they talking about Jamal Charlo versus Carlos Adams for Charlo's middleweight title. They say it's an 85% chance that this could happen. Yeah, because both boxers are with PBC. I want to see Jamal Charlo fight though, and I do want to see it with his belt on the line. I definitely want to see that, and I want to see Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz fight in the title eliminator to become Tyson Fury's mandatory challenger. That's what I was talking about on the fight Saturday. Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz Jr. Excellent title eliminator, man. Definitely. And I believe they both fight for PBC, so that should be able to happen. And yeah, I'm right. And it says a 99% chance that it'll happen. They promote both fighters. And yes, I agree. Ruiz would be a better matchup for Fury because he's better with his hands than Usyk. Usyk is he's much more of a bruiser. And Ruiz got them hands, man. And I want to see that fight. So I hope that happens, man. I hope that happens. All right. I had a little bit more news, but I don't have to rush everything because, we're going to do 30 minutes tonight. And I'm going to see y'all 30 minutes later on in the week. But let's just talk about, for right now, who has some of the belts, man. And, super middleweight at 168. You got Canelo Alvarez as a WBO, IBF, WBA, and WBC. Heavyweight, unlimited, WBO, Alexander Usyk, IBF, Alexander Usyk, WBA, Alexander Usyk, WBC is Tyson Fury. That's why they have to fight so we can get all them belts unified. Okay? At light heavyweight 175, you got Arthur Beterbiev, and he holds up WBO and the IBF, and Dmitry Bivol. Dmitry Bivol, I like him, man. I forgot. Did he fight Canelo? Was it Canelo he stopped? He got hands, though. He got hands. Then with the middleweight at 160, see, it's all over the place. Now you talking about Charlo fighting what's his name? Charlo, he need to go for Triple G. Triple G got the IBF and the WBA. And Charlo only holds a BBC. And Lara is the regular middleweight champion, WBA, and Alvarez is the franchise champion. They got belts all over the place. Now, junior middleweight at 154 pounds, Jamal Charlo's twin brother, Jamel, he has all of them. And Sebastian Fundora is the interim junior middleweight champion. Sebastian Fundora is like 6'11", linky. He got good hands though, man. And I think he's gonna be a star, man. He's so hard to hit because he's so tall, and his reach is so out there, man. And he really extends it. And he gets it on, man. You know who got all the welterweights at 147? That's Spence. Lightweight, you know who got all of those at 135? That's Devin Haney. Featherweight, you got Emmanuel Navarrete, Luis Alberto Lopez, Leo Santa Cruz, and Ray Vargas. I see some good fights coming out of that. So, there is some good fights to be made. There was some good fights this weekend with Big Baby Jared Anderson, Keyshawn Davis, Xander Zayas, all of them on Top Rank, by the way, because Bud Crawford's card was shameful. And Anderson, with his knockout of Jerry Forrest, second round TKO, he captured the WBO International and WBC Silver USNBC titles with that dominant victory. He's now improved to 13-0, all 13 by knockout. So he did an excellent job. And he said, like my corner said, once I get hit, it's a whole different ball game. I switch everything up, my mindset, how I fight, everything. I try to come in cool and calm. I see everybody kind of respecting him to go out early. I didn't want that. I did want to get all the way warmed up, but once he did hit me, as y'all see, something flipped, and all I saw was red. The 114 punches came, and we picked it up. Yo, I seen that when he got hit, because he got hit tough, man. He ate it, but then when he came back, he was on a mission, and he was trying to end dude, and he ended dude too. Real talk, like he ended him. And Keyshawn Davis, former silver Olympic medalist, he improved to 7-0, 5 KOs. With an 8th round unanimous decision from over Juan Carlos Burgos. And he dominated that whole fight. He looked really good. I was very impressed by seeing the young man. He looked very good, and he has a bright future. Xander Zayas, I wasn't impressed. He said we can still go work a little bit on everything. My distance, my punch output, my defense, my angles, everything. Yeah, you can improve on everything because you didn't put on the show, man, for New York. That was real disappointing, bro. I'm going to need to see more than that. I'm going to definitely need to see more than that in the future. But overall, it was a great fighting weekend. Yo.
What's going on? Right, the truth.
What's good, man? I'm just doing a little recap of the weekend fights, man, and talk about what's upcoming. The upcoming fights.
I heard you talking before I joined. You was discussing a little bit of Shakur. I was doing my intel on that. If I could touch on some of that. Basically, it seemed like everybody ducking Shakur at 135. He was supposed to fight Isaac Pitbull Cruz, that's a fight I was actually excited for when I heard it was when it was coming out. And his family, his father, did you hear about? They don't want the fight. They ducking it. They pretty much turned him down.
Yeah.
Another person turned him down too. It was another fighter. It was I forgot exactly who it was. But then now I heard him say today that the next one is Kambosos. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, no, I didn't hear about that. Tell me about that.
Shakur said he did an interview today, and he said that I forgot who was the two fighters. Basically, he challenged. There's two fighters that he challenged them, and they both declined him. So Cruz, that fight is off the table, even though the WBC ordered it. So he's disgusted. I was like I said, he basically I have to show you this page, but basically he said that pretty much that the box is in the sad state where these people at 135. Basically, Shakur think the 135 division is overrated, is not as hyped as everybody talking, and he basically saying that nobody want to fight, everybody ducking, and he's basically coming in calling everybody out and then maneuvering on him. And now they need to see if Kambosos is going to take the fight, and everybody believe that Kambosos is going to turn the fight down too. They don't know, they're not sure, but they don't know. It's 50-50. But who gonna fight Shakur at 135?
Yeah, but I was just talking about, and I had read an article where he was just talking with Devin Haney's father, and he
seen that.
Yeah, so he all over the place.
Yeah, I know that was wild. They was on another podcast and they got into an argument with Haney. Haney's, I think Bill said that they was gonna beat the shit out of Shakur Stevenson or something like that, and Shakur got upset. That shit is crazy. But everybody know that's the money fight. But I think they're gonna hold that fight off. He going to fight Lomachenko for sure. I think that's a lot.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Their boss is gonna hold it off because Lomachenko, he wants Lomachenko to fight Haney. So Shakur is gonna have to wait, and he can't fight Isaac Cruz unless Bob Arum gets with PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, and them in Top Rank make a deal, which pretty much ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree with that. You're right about that. I think who knows, man. I don't know why they're holding up all these fights, man, because it could be a major card. I think, I don't know if you're talking about Gervonta Davis. He got a big fight coming up on the 7th. I think
Yeah.
basically these guys, I think that him and Garcia, when they do fight, I think that's going to be the start of something because they claim Tank was doing some interviews himself, and he claimed that pretty much that he's going to be the trailblazer for the 135 and showing like these fights need to be made because this is going to be the first fight out of all of the powerhouse boxers at that division. They about to lock arms. Everybody else is playing games, going to the B side, to the next guy. Everybody need to know these people need to fight each other before they jump ship to the next weight class. You know, because that's in the cards too. Don't rule out somebody going to 140.
Well, at the press conference with Tank Davis, Hector Luis Garcia said this: I'm taking my normal approach to this fight. I'm a great fighter too, and I have Olympic experience. We have no reason to change our preparation for this fight. If I beat Tank on January 7th, I'd be happy to go after a fight against Ryan Garcia. I don't think he's on the same level as me and Gervonta. Wow. So, you know what I'm saying?
Ryan he want to fight Garcia. See, Garcia got. People sleeping on Garcia. See, the thing is, these fighters never fought nobody. They've been fighting a lot of jobbers, you know. So that's the thing, you know. So you really don't know. I mean, you know, it's a tough call. You know, shout out to Golden Boy, but that's gonna be. Tank is a power. Listen, let me say, if Tank is focused, it's gonna be hard to deal with him. That's all I'm gonna. I mean, it's up to how Tank want to approach it. I don't know how you feel about Tank. I just feel like it's all up to him. If he locked in, I don't think anybody gonna beat him. What you think?
Yo, that could be true, but I don't know. I see something different with this kid, man. You know what I'm saying, Luis Garcia, man. I see something different with him in his eyes, man. Tank, I gotta roll with Tank. You know what I'm saying? To Tank from the hometown, but I'm just saying, man. I think
you don't think gonna knock him out. You don't think he gonna knock him out?
Nah, I think this is going to be a challenge for him. And they said that before he took this fight. Like, why would he want to take a fight like this? Because it's going to be real challenging. But Tank said he's open to the challenge. So we're going to see. You know? And he holds a belt. He's a WBA regular lightweight champion.
WBO, right?
WBA.
Okay, yeah, I know. Yeah, he's the regular champion.
Yeah. Devin Haney got all
these belts. See, boxing, if you put this in basketball terms, how the way things are done, it'd be like if the first round and they won the championship. That's the way this shit is done in boxing. I mean, I thought the WBC was coming in when they ordered these fights, but it seemed like it was just BS because the people are just bouncing out these fights. Well, at least the Shakur one, at least. WBC ordered it. Talk to me.
I don't think the Shakur one. Hold on. Yeah, the WBC, it is a mandatory fight. Yeah,
so how are you getting out of it?
Yeah, but don't you remember that Shakur, he didn't make weight his last fight. Didn't he say? I thought he said he was moving up. I could have sworn he said he was
this gonna be his first fight. Yeah, he leaving. He's not on 130. He going to 135.
Okay.
He's looking for a fight at 135.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. He's not. Even if he does get a fight, you know what I'm saying? One and Shakur Stevenson, I don't see his next fight being a big money fight. I don't see it.
So what about what if it was against Pitbull Cruz? That's a money fight.
That's big money fight. No,
yeah, I know. That's why the WBC ordered it. Let me tell you something. I like Pitbull Cruz.
I do too.
Listen, Shakur would beat him because I just think he's more technical. But I really like Pitbull Cruz. That dude got hard. That dude can fight.
Absolutely. But see, what they saying in the article is PBC is looking to build Cruz into a Mexican star. And the style matchup with Stevenson, a slick boxer, would undoubtedly make the pressure fighter look bad. Besides, this isn't for a title, but a title shot. And top ranking PBC really do business, huh?
I said they would definitely make him look bad.
Yeah. But see, it's a title eliminator. So it can't be no shit on pay-per-view. It can only be something on ESPN on Friday or Saturday night. It can't be a major fight. It's a title eliminator. It's not for a belt. You know? So Stevenson's he's in a real tricky place right now, man. You know, he's in a real tricky place because unless Haney and them can pull something off with Arum, which I seriously doubt, he's gonna have to wait, man. He's gonna have to wait till Haney is done with Lomachenko and how that turns out. He's gonna have to fight a couple more fights, you know. In the meantime, he's gonna have to.
No, you facts. That's right.
So, I mean, I like the fact that Shakur Stevens out here hyping everything up, but you hyping fans up for what, boy? Because ain't nothing gonna pop off. You already know that, Shakur. You know how the business works.
These fights are not gonna happen, even though the way he's going at it, like he gonna end up fighting like a jobber.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they're gonna throw somebody at him. Like, but who will rush to take that fight with him? They know what he's about. Nobody gonna rush to take that. What you think?
I mean, you gonna rush to take it if you ain't fought in a while and you need some and you need the bag. I mean, you ain't gonna be fighting for. You're not fighting for a belt anyway.
So basically, dude don't want to fight Shakur because he said that Shakur is gonna be run. I'm talking about Pitbull Cruz.
Well, no, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. This was just the opinion of the article. Okay, the article is saying that Cruz's company PBC wants to build him into a Mexican star, and they don't want him to get embarrassed by Shakur.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, he would get embarrassed, but Shakur would be trying to embarrass him. Shakur gonna try to run circles around him. Mm-hmm. But I like Eastside Cruz, man. So I think he is probably one of the top Mexican fighters, if not the top. He's a guy who definitely caught my attention. I was studying a lot of his fights. That dude is a powerhouse.
Definitely.
I love his pressure, the way he fight. He ain't scared of nothing.
Definitely. And that usually be the case with those Mexican fighters. They're very tough and they're very strong.
But he's different. He's different, Phonicz. This dude Pitbull Cruz, he's like one of the ones. Like I can see a lot of the young Mexican fighters. I could see how they could gravitate to him as like a leader.
Word. What you think about Deontay Wilder fighting Andy Ruiz Jr.?
That's gonna be a good one. Yeah, basically whoever wins. Listen, we all know is a collision course between Deontay Wilder and Fury. We all know what's going on. And I'm rolling with Wilder. I mean, I love the way Wilder was, like his attitude and his and everything he was moving. I just think I don't know if he's gonna be able to beat Fury, but listen, he's gonna dispatch this dude Ruiz. I think Wilder is on a situation where he's gonna prove to everybody that the only person who beat me was Fury. These other guys, the way he just trouncing them, if he goes in there and knock this dude out in the first round, we got to just pay homage to Wilder. He just ran into a dude that he just got his number. And Wilder ain't backing down. He ready to go back and fight him again. So that's why the homage got to be paid to Wilder. He not running from Fury, even though he can whoop his ass.
You tripping.
Well, you think he running from Fury?
No, it's not the fact that he's running from Fury. He's got beaten down how many times? He's not good enough to fight Fury. And I don't think he could beat Ruiz. Ruiz got hands, bro. And he has a hell of a chin. And he got hands.
Nah, listen. This is he got the right hand of God now. This ain't Fury. Let me tell you, he gonna drop this dude Ruiz. I like Ruiz. I know this New York City. Bro, I mess with Ruiz, but he ain't got nothing. Listen, Wilder on another level right now, in my opinion. I think he like a humble beast. Like he's saying all the right things, but he trying to take people's heads off at the same time.
You do know Andy Ruiz did hold the WBA, IBF, and WBO.
He won. Yeah, he beat Joshua. Yeah. I remember he beat Joshua. Yeah, he was on the world tour. He took the belts to Mexico. Everybody knew that. Shit, that was all over the papers when that happened. That was one of the biggest upsets of this era. Shit, I mean, but listen, that's gonna be a hell of a fight. The WBC ordered some big money fights. That's all I can let you know right there. But Fury's in a good spot.
True. But Fury still has another fight in the way. He got to fight Usyk. So however that goes, that'll determine because if he doesn't beat Usyk, he won't have his belt anymore. He won't be the mandatory anyway. It'll be
Wilder will fight Usyk.
Yeah, and Usyk will unify all the titles. He'll be undisputed. He'll be the first undisputed heavyweight since '99.
I think Wilder would beat Usyk. What you think?
Nah, no.
Well, you sleeping on Wilder?
Well, he's not a boxer.
I know.
He's a bruiser, but he got figured out. Tyson Fury showed everybody, if you box him and just stay away from them haymakers, you'll be all right. And that's what happened. He can't box. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. A broken clock is right. What? Once a day, twice a day, however they say it? Who knows, man?
Yeah. The Wilder, at some point, that is true. Against Fury, it looked bad. Fury was just picking him apart. Fury, got at everything, got his number.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's so crazy? The other day I was watching Teofimo Lopez versus Kambosos. That fight was electric. And that was
It
a
was.
replay I was watching. I was like, good Lord. Like,
Yeah.
I'm doing my home. I said, yo, I was on the edge of my seat like that shit was live.
Yeah, Kambosos gave
They
him
was
that
going
look
at
too.
it.
Yeah.
Teofimo, he makes some mistakes, but he got some speed. And at that time, he was undefeated. I think he was undefeated at that time before that fight.
He was.
So he was fighting with a lot of swagger. I see the
Mm-hmm.
difference. Pep in the step that fight, and Kambosos dropped his ass in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
You know that was a crazy fight. Kambosos definitely looked good in that fight, and like I said, Haney just ran circles around Kambosos. So I don't think what's his name is a good fight. Teofimo is a good fight for Haney. But I think that Teofimo next fight needs to be against somebody like Haney. Like he need to go against a big name to get shit right.
I don't think he's gonna see. I don't think he's gonna see Haney, man. But hold on, Teofimo is at what? Is at what now? He's at what?
Yeah, 140, but he could go to 135. I think.
Yeah.
I remember he said something like he got one more at 135. I heard him say some dumb shit like that. I believe.
No,
that
was when he was dealing with Kambosos. Nah, he's at 140 now. That fight he had Saturday was at 140.
Right. Oh, so the Teofimo fight, Haney would have to go to 140.
Yeah, Haney's not doing that. Why would he do that? I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, he the king of 135. He probably gonna be on 135 for a minute.
Yeah, and Lopez said after the Kambosos fight, he was drained for having to make weight at 135. So he's not going back to 135. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's all good though. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? We got some good ones coming up though, man. You know what I'm saying? We got some good ones. I'm worried about Errol Spence Jr. He was in another car accident. Yo, I pray for his fast recovery. Hey, did you see the knockout by Crawford?
I've seen the replay. I didn't see it live. He hit him with a two-piece.
Yeah. He was playing that whole fight though. Yeah, he was playing that whole fight though, man. And he's gonna have to tighten up too, man. You know what I'm saying? He was playing around that whole fight, man. You know what I'm saying? But yo, I appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, coming on. I wasn't gonna stay on too long. I just wanted to you know what I'm saying, give a little boxing news, and I appreciate you coming on though.
Appreciate you, man.
Oh, you on next?
On the show. Oh yeah, I'll be on a little later. Yeah, about another 45 minutes, 30 to 45.
Yo, y'all check out for Flight Sports in like 45 minutes, man. Eastern Standard Time or Pacific. 45 minutes, y'all, all right? Yo, thank everybody for tuning in for the show, man. Yo, I just want to talk a little bit about the fights this weekend, up and coming things. Give y'all information on who got the mandatories, who got the belts in their class. And, yo, we're going to come back later on this week, man. Yo, like, subscribe, share, donate to the channel, yo. And I appreciate everybody that came through, man. It's your boy Phonicz, and I'm out of here.